Hi, Sash here. Today we're making the chocolate coconut cream pie, so it's going to be awesome. I've made it once before, altering my previous recipe a little bit this time. So we have walnuts, macadamia nuts, hemp seeds. We're making the base at the moment. We're doing... lost the measuring spoon. We're doing dates, 8 of them, 16 apricots, 2/3 cup cacao. Whoop, lost a little bit. Not too big a tragedy. And 2 teaspoons fresh ground vanilla bean, so the bean from the stalks only. And 2 teaspoons water. Unfortunately, I don't have my water filter. My spring water from Banff, but this will have to do it. So just a touch, and into the food processor, cover, and this is the base we're making, the crust, which doesn't work. Okay, so there you have it. There's your crust. Should get quite sticky and hard. There you go. And that will go into your baking pan, or I'm using a frying pan because I don't have a baking pan, and form the bottom crust. Alright, tune in for the next part. Catch you later. Hey, so second part, making the filling for the crust. Here's how the crust has come, making it in a frying pan. But yep, it's come out nice and hard, it's perfect. Sometimes when you're pressing it into the pan it feels like, oh, is this too thin, is it going to hold together? But as soon as it's chilled, it's fine. Works out great, hardens up a bit. So we have 3 cups of coconut meat from Young Thai. Sorry, I forgot to attach my Vitamix high-speed blender, blades moving up to 500 kilometers per hour, breaking up all the cells and releasing nutrition. So, adding 2 3/4 cup coconut water, agave nectar, also 3/4 cup. Just getting it all in there. Agave nectar, it takes a while to get out. Eighth teaspoon salt. Lecithin, which is really helpful for nervous system function, nerve cells, and fixing what's called the myelin sheath. And the myelin sheath is what lubricates cell communication. And coconut oil, 4.5 tablespoons. Oh, not sure if we have 4.5 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, replacing with cacao butter oil. 4, That's it, and we're going to hit the blender. Again, making sure you don't overheat it. And doing it nice and quick so it doesn't solidify the coconut oil and the cacao oil. Wasn't mixing quite as well as I'd like it to, but I'm not too worried about it. Okay, and pour it into our crust. Should just fill. Perfect. Just going to scrape up with my hand. Well, it's a little bit warm. I'm pretty sure I'm underneath the raw temperature. But yeah, probably wouldn't have gone too much longer. Another little trick if you want to process for longer is to freeze your coconut water. So then it will start at a cooler temperature. Otherwise just turn it off and wait if you're that patient. Okay, great. So there we have it. Probably just level it. That's the start, that's the second part. Stay tuned for number 3. Gotcha. Hey, so last part or third part really out of 4. So I've got the macadamia nuts and the coconut ribbons, and I'm going to Vitamix that, not too powerfully because I don't want a meal, a powder. I want a just crumbs, so I'm just going to do it lightly. I think that's all I want. I think this is too much actually, but maybe a little bit more. Okay, great, that'll do. Sorry. Here's what we've got so far. Let's get a close up of that. Yep. Great, so here's what we've got so far here. We've got the crust, the filling. Now this is the top layer. Do this a bit more carefully. I thought about spreading it, but I think just properly distributing it is the way to go, because the cream isn't quite that hard, so I don't want to move too much of the coconut cream. I will just by hand distribute it a little bit. Probably a bit too much. I will alter the recipe to the one I give you on YouTube. Yeah. But I'm sure this will taste good regardless. Now you could probably stop at here and just serve it like this, but we're going one step further with the chocolate. You probably could have stopped before where we were at as well, but this is going to the ultimate cake. Actually, that looks pretty good. Okay. Next step. I'm going to throw this back into the freezer. And we're going to make the chocolate. So here we go. I have cacao oil or butter. It seems to melt quite well in hot water, in a container and hot water underneath. Coconut nectar comes from the sap of the coconut tree. Good old agave nectar. Oh, careful on that one. One-eighth teaspoon of salt. And your raw cacao powder. Come take. So, how much of this we got, my friend? My friend Adam, the long track speed skater, is filming for me.
3/4.
3/4 cup?
Yep.
So we've got a 1/4 cup on me here. 2. And 3. So, blend that. Come take a look. So look at that. That is so smooth. I think much smoother than coconut oil gives you. Wow, actually it's incredible. It also doesn't stick to the container. That's awesome. Alright, I think we should throw this right. Actually, we'll give it a second just for the cake to cool down a bit more. One more vid. Okay. Okay, we're pouring the chocolate. I'm just doing it right on the center. And I'm noticing that this chocolate, the cacao, makes it not stick so much to the Vitamix. I think. Yep, now here it's all coming. So it's a little shaky. Wow. That's cool. Okay, you might have to help it. Not a bad thing to help with your hands. No, actually, I think using a proper spatula actually works better than hands for chocolate. Because I'm trying both to see what's more efficient. Because this is such a big container, you never want to throw out stuff. But I'm finding actually with chocolate, I just throw some water or some nuts in and make chocolate milk with the remainder instead of wasting it now. Okay, should be able to scrape that off me. Yeah. Great. Lightly pressing because it is still, it's not quite solid yet. And sealing it, trying to seal it with the crust. I think one long brush stroke seems to work better. Yeah, going right over the lid. Oh. Now remember to also cut this cake with a nice hot knife. So soak it in the hot water and cut cleanly through it, otherwise you'll rip the chocolate and different parts of it out. And there we have it. Chocolate coconut cream cake or pie. All ready to go. Probably needs to sit in the fridge or the freezer for a bit longer and set, but then we're ready to eat. I'll throw it in the freezer for a second. But remember, never leave it in the freezer for too long because you start to kill the nutrients and the taste. So you don't ever want to freeze it. And it should be good for about 4 or 5 days. 5 days in the fridge. And yeah, enjoy. Bye. Okay, so I've decided to do the last little bit, which is cutting it. I'm soaking the blade in hot water, wiping it, getting it nice and hot, so it just slides through the chocolate and the cream. Again, not the ideal thing to be making the cake in, as it is harder to cut, but still coming out reasonably good. One last cut. So think that's 16 pieces, and hopefully I'll be able to scoop one out without a problem for the serve. There we go. And there we have it. I'll give it a taste, I guess. It's beautiful. Alright, till next time. Catch you later.